Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. We're going to look at today uranium. We're going to look at the sector. We're going to look at some ETFs. We're going to price some ETFs against other ones. We'll see if I can pull up maybe even some futures pricing. Maybe it's UX2 that I try. UX1's all jacked up. I don't know why. But I'll give you my opinions around it and what could potentially happen here. We can draw some trend lines in here, some basic ones, and see how things are moving. I do see that we're getting the Green Army to show up. What's the Green Army? The Green Army is when buying pressure shows up to a sector, starts throwing in some fat, big green candlesticks, and that generally is the beginning of a change in the markets, a change of trend. We've been in a consolidation zone for a while. I know a lot of people are frustrated with the sector. That's generally where it kicks out a lot of the retail investors. They become completely disinterested in it. And then I usually continue to add into it at times that the interest is very low. So let's take a look and see what's going on here. So here's URNM. I've got this. We can see from a big picture view, we had a massive run up from March 2020, big old run up. And then we got these larger selling pressure days here. The big bearish engulfings. They pushed us lower, pushed us lower, pushed us lower. But at this time, we've still got the lows that are still making higher and higher lows. So really what's happening here is it's a consolidation pattern that's squeezing up into a corner. And it's coming into this corner here. And what we're looking for is we're looking for the Green Army to show up. What's the Green Army? The Green Army is large, big green candlesticks that show up that drive us out of this pattern. And what we usually see with that setup are large green candlesticks and very small red candlesticks. And what that is telling us is that we've got large buying pressure or large buying volume, if you get the volume in there too, buying it up. So we can throw volume on here, 24-hour volume, and some of the volume is kicking up on the right-hand side over here, a little bit. And we want that volume to start driving this to the upside. We want lots of buyers, not a lot of sellers. Small down candlesticks, big green candlesticks. Now, we're breaking this downtrend here a little bit to the upside. That is positive. It could be the start of something that moves higher. Now, we got to see follow through here. I'm not stating that we're just going to go higher. We got to see some buyers step in here and push it to the upside. And right now, it looks good. We just have to continue that momentum and get out of here. We could move sideways for a longer period of time. What I call this is the dead period, where the lows and the highs come down and we just go sideways for a little bit. It bores everyone to death. Everyone forgets about the sector. Then it pops out. We do a little return move, and then it rips it. This is generally right before a move is that dead period. The dead period is when the buyers equal the sellers, and you don't really get a large move in prices. They just go sideways. I think that's where we're at, and that might be what happens for a while as gold and silver reprice itself, and they do some sort of money printing to kickstart the economy at some point again. We could also have a potential dead period where it kind of goes down like this and does a false breakout and scares everybody. So there could be an event that scares everyone. We get one last flush out. People, they drop a load in their pants because they get all afraid. They're a bunch of retail investors. They don't know what they bought. They're in a highly speculative sector that's very volatile. And we get that one last flush out, possible, not stating it will happen, scares everybody, and then it rips it to the upside because it gets everybody short down here and it just squeezes all the shorts. That's the slingshot cheetah pattern. It locks in the shorts here. and then it squeezes everybody to the upside. If we were to look at URNJ, it's very similar to URNM in terms of its movements. And we can see that a downtrend line is being broken here to the upside. We had a massive up day, 6.22%. And this could be a start to a move higher. So we're seeing URNM trying to poke its little turtle head out of its trend line, and URNJ is doing the same thing. Now, we got to see some follow through here. It doesn't mean we're in the clear yet, but it's positive. It's a step in the right direction if you want prices to go higher. I'm indifferent. I'll buy the crap out of it when it's down. I don't really care. And I'll continue to add if it stays down. But this is a positive development. If we look at the ETF and compare URNM, because it's got data, to other assets, here's URNM versus XLE. I think this looks good. We're breaking to the upside here, guys. It's turtle heading out. Little turtle heads everywhere, right? So here we are heading up higher here for URNM versus XLE. That's perfect. That looks absolutely excellent. And let's hope that momentum can continue. We've got URNM versus natural gas. Now, natural gas is just cheap as all get out. I like natural gas up here, but URNM could get more expensive to natural gas. URNM versus XOP. This looks very good for a move higher. Difficult to put a trend line in here. Obviously, I can see a trend line here and here. I won't even add that. It's in the history, but this is moving on up. It's looking fantastic. Hopefully, we can keep that momentum, and hopefully, we can break kind of out of this period here, that little resistance area. Break in, get above that, and we could be moving. URNM versus platinum. Looks like we were kind of putting in some sort of top there, came on back, and we'll see if we can come back and push it to an expensive area again. We've got URNM versus the NASDAQ. That has broken in a negative way, and that could continue lower against NDQ. We've got URNM versus the commodity index. This looks good for a move higher. In fact, it looks very similar to a Livermore accumulation cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comes on down, and they get this kind of hump there. And hopefully we can rip it. URNM versus OIH. It looks good. We went back to this support level. It's starting to move on higher. There's your dead period here. And now it's starting to get some life back into it where we could head higher. URNM versus REMX. This is still squeezing up. We'll see which way it breaks, down or up. URNM versus COPX. Now that broke to the downside. Looks like we have kind of a double top. So we'll see where it goes from here. To me, it's favorable for copper. And then URNM versus SPX. We're at this kind of support line here, and we've broken to the downside here. So again, we'll see what happens here. But URNM doesn't look favorable to SPX. It looks kind of more neutral-ish. So URNM definitely looks favorable to oil stocks. But there's other sectors that it doesn't look as favorable against. So which direction is it going to go? Well, we're going to find out here over the next few months. It is turtle heading out to the upside, so that's a positive thing. But, we don't have the full alignment like we did in 2020. 2020, it was cheap against everything. And let's see if we can look to see where, let's look at UX2. Which is uranium here, uranium price. Look at that, guys. Big old move for uranium 2 to the upside for futures pricing. I have it at $63. Let me see if I can do UX1. Yeah, it's popped higher there for uranium futures pricing. We can also use U.UN, which is the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. You can see, like in general here, you can see that this thing is coming to a point, that we're just coming to a point here, and that's that dead period. Hopefully we can break out to the upside and get moving. And I think that will have an impact on the equities. We break 1815. That's kind of where we want to get above that level. and get up and move on up into that would probably be a gigantic, maybe blow off top eventually, given the tightness in the physical markets. And then you can price, URNM divided by U.UN, and you get these ratios where you're very cheap. Back in April of 2020, we had a vast outperformance all the way to a peak, and we've been consolidating ever since. And what we want to see is we want to see this break to the upside, where the equities outperform the physical side of the market. And I think it will happen. If you look at the candlestick characteristics, you have a big up candlestick here, and then small selling pressure right in it. That generally works its way to the back to the bottom there and breaks on higher. So I'm curious to see where we go here, and if URNM can outperform the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. So I think it looks good. That's me. I think things are shaping up better, but it has to continue the momentum. It's got to continue. I'm not saying that this is a bottom, but it could be. So that no one ever knows. You only know when you look backwards. If you like the fundamentals and you're an aggressive investor, yeah, I'd shoot some off. That's me, for myself. But other people, they want trend lines to break. They want to buy it 20, 30, 40% higher than where it is today. And they want the momentum behind it. That's fine too. I'm an investor. I'm not really a trader, but I buy stuff off of cheap ratios. I buy it off of support. I'm aggressive as heck, and sometimes I have to ride things out longer than I'd like. But it is what it is. And that's what we've got for the current market in uranium. That's what I'm seeing, at least from the chart perspective. Fundamentals still look great. Nothing's broken. Nothing's been fixed on the supply side. Stay long, remain long, and that's all I'm going to do. It's stay long, remain long until the supply problems have been fixed. All right, guys, that's what I've got for today. Thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. If you guys want to see what individual companies I like and how I'm playing it, you can see my portfolio if you join the website. If that's of interest to you, join our community. 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Sunday, question and answer session for the Platinum members. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.